taking advantage of the created superstars within this game that I downloaded already. Raven against Sabu. Raven and Sabu may not have had a storied as much of a storied rivalry in ECW as Raven and the Sandman, or Raven and Tommy Dreamer, or Tommy Dreamer and Sabu. Or Sabu and the Sandman, but that makes this match between these two men even more intriguing because their storied rivalry is not as prevalent as it might be for others within the ranks of the hallowed halls of ECW. Raven squirms out of the crossface from Sabu, Sabu showing more wrestling ability than he normally does in any match that he's in. But that just shows that Sabu does have wrestling ability, even if it is a WWE video game. Moonsault pressed by Sabu, but Raven was on the opposite side of the ring, so I don't know how effective that one was. Big frog splash by Sabu, but Raven gets out of the way. Raven goes for the knee lift, but Sabu moved out of the way. Over the top rope goes Sabu. You gotta figure that these two men, being brawlers, are gonna find some way to maximize the count on the outside. But Raven did not want to join Sabu on the floor there, and instead drops him with a short arm clothesline. Sabu's now fighting back. These two are keeping it simple early. I mean, I said that, then Sabu drops Raven with a brainbuster, so I don't know how simple they're keeping it. Raven finds himself on the outside. And a bulldog on the floor by Raven. Rocks Sabu. That has got to be the most high-impact maneuver they've done this matchup. And head over heels, Sabu goes into the barricade from Raven. Into the ring post goes Sabu. Honestly, Raven is one of my favorite in-ring competitors, or one of my favorite characters in pro wrestling. I always thought Scott Levy was I always thought Scott Levy could have done more on a grander stage, and I was happy when he became NWA World Champion, but I also think Raven is one of those people that doesn't need to be the top star to be over, and that makes him even more of a special character. Do I agree with his mindset for creative? I would say nobody's perfect and, hit or miss, but overall, no. I would say overall, no, but, I think it's more that nobody's perfect. Vertical suplex, and then Raven goes for the lateral press, and you gotta do more if you want to keep down this suicidal, genocidal, homicidal maniac Sabu. Sabu with a simple but effective neckbreaker takes down Raven. Raven gets blocked. Back to the crossface Sabu. Back to the crossface by Sabu. But Raven is fighting out of it. Raven is fighting out of it. I think Raven was going for a DDT variation, but Sabu blocked him. Raven blocked him back. Second attempt, and this time Raven nails the knee lift. He just grinds his boot into the forehead of Sabu. You would have thought a strong gust of wind at this point would have busted open Sabu. But apparently that's not the case, as I'm going to call it a variation bulldog out of the corner from Raven. And a unique maneuver. Stunt pile driver. Not a stunt pile driver. Pile driver. And again, Sabu kicks out. Raven goes sailing over the top rope from Sabu. Sabu might have found his second wind. He takes down Raven with a flying forearm. I don't even know what the hell to call that other than a hammerlock. Let's call it a hammerlock suplex. Back into the ring goes Sabu, and Raven follows shortly after. Sabu counters him. Sabu is honestly staying away from the ropes, but as I say that, he just did a springboard moonsault. But Raven counters him. I think Raven was going for a neckbreaker there, but Sabu counters him with a neckbreaker of his own. Sabu counters him with a neckbreaker of his own. Sabu, just like his uncle, Sabu has got the camel clutch locked in, but is the grip too tight for Raven to break? Is the grip too tight for Raven to break? Raven is fighting it. Raven is fighting it. It was not too tight for Raven to break. Catches him once. Drops him with a DDT this time. Drops him with a DDT this time does Raven. Raven just pounds Sabu face first into the mat. Facebuster takedown. Down goes Sabu. Now he's just pounding him face first into the mat. Is Raven. Sabu gets himself some distance between him and Raven. Even flow DDT by Raven. Even flow DDT by Raven. But somehow Sabu is back up in a sight you'd only see in a WWE video game. In a sight you'd only see in a WWE video game, Sabu is back up. Arabian press by Sabu. Follows it up with a lateral press. But Raven kicks out. Sabu with a jumping knee. Sabu is in fact busted open. Sabu is in fact busted open. Sabu's measuring Raven to come off the top rope. Crossbody. Raven pops himself back up. Secures Sabu on the ropes, but Sabu blocks him. Sabu is now feeling it. Sabu is feeling it. Takes down Raven with an arm drag. Back to the neck. You gotta figure he's working on the upper back and the neck of Raven because of the camel clutch. Sabu's going to the outside. You gotta know. Arabian facebuster, but Raven moved. Raven moved. Right to the face of Sabu. Right to the eyes. Shinbreaker takes down Raven. Lateral press. Jessica Carr goes for the one. And Raven kicks out. Raven kicks out, but Raven now rolls to the outside. Is Sabu gonna go for a fly? I thought Sabu might have taken flight, but instead rolls to the opposite side of the ring, allowing Raven. Both men are down on the outside in a sight you'd only see in a WWE video game. Sabu does the move, and Raven's first up. Sabu does the move, but Raven is first back to his feet. Forearm shiver by Sabu. Raven catches him with an inside cradle. Raven catches him off guard with an inside cradle, and Sabu kicks out at the count of 2. If I'm correct, I believe Taz is ECW World's Heavyweight Champion, and the winner of this matchup will get to fight Taz for the ECW World's title. Suplex off the middle rope. Sabu came off the top. Raven came off the middle. Raven is measuring him. You gotta figure for the even flow. Down goes Sabu for the even flow DDT. And is this gonna be enough? Is this gonna be enough to keep down the suicidal, genocidal, homicidal maniac? No! No! Sabu does not stay down. Sabu does not stay down. Raven is not able to keep down Sabu after the second even flow DDT. Basement dropkick catches Sabu getting up. Bulldog by Raven takes down Sabu. Sabu rolls himself to the outside. Apron backbreaker by Raven. This is more, I will say this is more like a WWE version of ECW with countout and disqualification. But in my opinion, I disagree with the idea of no holds barred, no countout, pandemonium in every match, because it's unnecessary. Sabu gets brushed off by Raven after Raven gets brushed off by Sabu. Sabu gets brushed off. Sabu brushes off Raven. Hip toss takedown. Sabu's going back to the outside. Back for the Arabian facebuster. Lateral press. And Raven kicks out at the count of 2. Raven kicks out at the count of 2.5. We are now approaching 2.5 minutes left of this 15-minute time limit, I should say. I apologize. I thought it was a 20-minute time limit, but it was actually a 15. Raven is now mounted Sabu and is just dropping right hands on him. Yeah, I think he just slapped him. I think Raven slapped Sabu. I don't know how smart that is to slap the suicide man with the nickname Sabu has. Scoop slam takedown. Raven with a quick a quick leg drop. Sabu's rolling on the outside. Raven follows him. Wait a second, Raven is measuring him. Raven is measuring him. Sabu blocked him. Raven was going to go for the even flow on the outside. Raven was going to go for the even flow on the outside, but Sabu blocked him. Sabu back up top. You know what comes next. Elbow. He was going for the elbow drop. For whatever reason, Sabu was not going. Sabu was not going for his maneuver. The Arabian facebuster. Raven is up top. Raven is trying to do exactly everything he possibly can to keep down Sabu. We are under a minute left. Under a minute remains in this matchup. Vertical suplex takedown. Raven with the cross arm breaker. Raven with a cross arm breaker. Raven with a cross arm breaker on Sabu. Sabu takes him down with an arm drag. There's a strange possibility this match there is a possibility this match may end in a countout. I mean, this match may end in a time limit draw. This match is going to end in a time limit draw. Raven dropped him with a DDT as the bell rings and the 15-minute time limit expires. As you hear the crowd telling us to restart the match, but the fact of the matter is, now the question is, who exactly is #1 contender? With that being said, that is it from me. You will find out what happens next within the ranks of ECW in the next one, because I'm done for the day, and that is it from me. I will see you again soon.